Birds of Passage is a 2018 film directed by the then married partners Cristina Gallego and Ciro Guerra, who divorced while the film was being made apparently. Guerra is the director of Embrace of the Serpent and the recent film Waiting for the Barbarians with Johnny Depp. The film is based on true life events and set in Colombia during the marijuana bonanza as it is known, a decade full of violence and which sparked Colombia's drug trafficking trade. The film focuses on an indigenous family from the Wayuu people, mainly one character, Rapayet, who wants to marry a young girl from another family, and in order to pay the huge dowry which was set upon him to put him off, given the differences in social class between him and his fiance's family, he utilizes on an opportunity that comes his way to sell weed to some white people from the US, or gringos as they're referred to. Much like Scarface and many of the drug films that came before Birds of Passage, Rapayet sees his wealth grow, and concurrently his influence, and he and his partners end up with a drug empire. Both families become drowned in wealth, but business issues and internal family conflicts threaten to harm the peace and shatter the system Rapayet has created. For example, his hot-headed close friend who started the drug business with him, already despised by Rapayet's extended family for foregoing indigenous traditions, especially by his overbearing helicopter mother-in-law, begins acting far too dangerously, with Rapayet's family elders recommending that it would be better for the guy to disappear altogether. And then we have tensions with another crime family, with junior members doing stupid things that threaten to cause rifts between the elders and spark all-out war. Birds of Passage is a fantastic, captivating gangster and family drama. Watching the family rise and rise from essentially poverty to being the kings of the hills, and then to see it all crumble through ego and greed in what is a traditional rise and fall gangster movie template, but still fascinating and thrilling. However, the gripping nature of Birds of Passage is due to much more than the crime and corruption element. As the family's wealth rises and they move into the modern world, their traditions, culture and way of life become decimated, and that is thematically what the film is really about. The clash between ancient traditions and modern-day greed. The cultural losses trouble many of the elder tribespeople who are proud of their traditions, whilst the new generation have their eyes set on the future and tangible rewards, seeing the nonconformist ideology of the tribe holding them back. Goals and values become murky and lost, alliances become frail, and ultimately the chaos and tensions boil over and cause the self-destruction of the people, and it's all captured in a nuanced, aesthetically beautiful film. The movie feels like it has an almost mournful tone, like it's lamenting the loss of human life, which comes as a result of things which were ultimately juvenile, materialistic, and just taken too far. It also has a nostalgic folklore feel to it, opening and closing with a mysterious blind man narrating the events. The open desert scenery is made full use of, often dwarfing the characters themselves in the shots, but Birds of Passage never ceases to be intimate, portraying adeptly Rapayet's struggles as a man grounded in ethics but on a one-way track to disaster. The film tracks the passage of time and the wealth that accumulates through the visuals. Like, for example, the people living in small thatched huts in the beginning of the movie, but by the end they have one huge mansion which looks bizarre and surreal, being that it's slap bang in the middle of the desert. This is a simple example of the erosion or change of culture that is symbolized visually in the film, which was one of my favorite things about the movie. Birds of Passage is a brilliant example of how talented authors can take a traditional story template like the rise and fall gangster arc, and use it as a backdrop to serve their own thematic ends. In its incredibly authentic and fascinating depiction of the indigenous way of life, the film is seemingly making a statement to us outsiders who are socially engineered to associate Colombia with drugs. It's like the film is saying, no, look at the beauty and the spirituality that was here before this plague came along. This is a very good film, touching and visually striking. I give it an 8 out of 10.